Good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing on this beautiful, dreary Sunday morning? Hope everyone is doing great. I myself am doing well. Thanks for asking. Morning, Mr. Gonzo and Mr. Mister. Thank you for being here bright and early. How are you gentlemen doing this morning? Good, I hope. I've got a light situation going on. Alright. That looks alright, I guess. I forgot to charge my light and therefore it is dead. And I'm having to use another one over here to the side. Why is my camera crooked? I don't like that. The house looks crooked. Yeah, why is that looking crazy crooked? What is going on here? Alright. I guess that looks good. So, what is seeing things? In my pocket last night, I had my Kunwu Django XL, and I had my Vespa. Nobody's here this morning. It's alright. As long as Mister's here, I'm good. I knew right after the broadcast was over yesterday that I would find one of those knives I was looking for. That was the titanium amphibian. So I did find it. I had put it in a tote of stuff that was laying beside me here and forgot that I did that. So I did find that big boy. Move this stuff over so the chat doesn't. Yeah, the Marfione Customs. So this is a Microtech, of course, but I don't know how Marfione decides to put his name on some stuff and doesn't on others. But I guess he's got his name attached to this one. Because it's got his little thing, you know, whatever. When you look it up, it says Marfione. I don't know, but this thing has awesome action. Good centering. I kind of want to keep it. I hope William doesn't want it. But I did find it. So that's cool. Is the what are y'all carrying today? What do y'all got going on in your pockets? That's a loaded question. Not sure what we're going to look at today. I'm sure we're going to talk about knives. I've got an issue developing that I don't want to go into completely yet. I will give it a day or so to give the person involved the benefit of the doubt. But if I don't hear from him today, I will assume that what my thoughts are on the matter are true, which is unfortunate because I don't want to be correct. I know I'm being a little cryptic, but it's because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus before they deserve it. Good morning, Robin. How are you, sir? But yeah, so there is something going on in the background that might be of interest tomorrow. Like I said, I'm never the one to not give someone the benefit of the doubt. You've got a drop point in Cozy. A Scarab Tooth Shadow. Still in bed. That's cool. That's a good place to be on Sunday, Robin. Sundays are made to be laid back because after Saturday, which is the best day of the week, you should need to lay back. And after talking, why do some, I guess I'm kind of answering my own question as I say it, but some knife companies on their official websites charge ridiculous money for their knives because they know they'll be sold elsewhere and they have to post the map prices, I guess. And I was just looking at the price of this thing the other day on their website. This company is known for doing that because most of their items are sold on knife stores and Amazon, etc. But the Espada XL in S35 VN blade steel, which this one is $650 on their website. And I believe it's only $299 or maybe $329 or something on Amazon. But that's more than double. That's more than double what this knife is on Amazon. I have carried this. I carried it for a couple of weeks when I first got it. Yeah, the Espada XL is pretty large. There's a Django XL. Went to a cool thing yesterday called the Odd Mall. It's a maker's fair full of odd stuff for sale. Oh, that sounds awesome. Did anybody watch that show Odyssey or Oddities? Oddities. I used to love that show. It was about a shop that sold all that weird stuff. You know, all the steampunk and stuff that Kat Von D would buy. Couple more of their big ones are the Luzon Large, which is a pretty big knife. I believe that's the large. And I like the Luzon. And the Tie Light is another one. Can't even get it on the screen. I'm going to have to move stuff back over. Going off the screen. That one. And the Tie Light. Tie Light? Is that right? Those are three big ones. Yeah, that show Oddities. Here, let's go see if I can show it to you. Oddities TV show. Yeah, it was called Oddities. It was about a little shop. You don't remember this guy and this girl?
This is Oddities. This is Oddities.
It's a shop called Obscura.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, hello.
Can't show much of it because I'll get a strike.
Feel
But
free to try it on.
season 4, so they had quite a few seasons. Obscura, the shop, I wonder if it's still open. Obscura Antiques and Oddities. Yep, it is still available. New York City. Yeah, they have all the, like, you know, anatomical stuff, and they actually have real human skulls, and they don't have their shop stuff on here, but their shop is definitely weird. New York City. Mike Zahn, I guess is his name. We have closed the NYC shop and have moved online. Shop Obscura Antiques. Well, if that's what he's selling, he does cameos, and he has a Facebook profile. So the shop went under. He got out of NYC at the correct time. Yeah, those shops. I wish there was one local here with all that weird, bizarre stuff. I would go check it out for sure. Morning, Ray Sachs. Morning, TC. How are you, gentlemen? Hope you're doing well on this laid-back Sunday. Good morning, Scott. William. Morning, sir. I'm not sure I actually want to get rid of this amphibian now, William. Now that I've been playing with it all night, because it has got just perfect action and centering. But I did find it. Here it is. Great knife. So yeah, I found it right after the show was over yesterday. No Espada, huh, Ray Sachs? Yeah. I've got the the Raja too. There's the Django XL in comparison. Magnum Tanto 12s, huh? Not sure exactly what that is. I loved the Raja a lot more than I thought I would. And I I really like the Raja 3. The Raja 3 is an actual usable size knife. You can see there that it's a little bit smaller, but it's a pretty good user. I can get 4 fingers. Yeah, I like this little thing. It's a very cool little knife. I don't bust out my cold steels. Yeah, I've done stuff all the way to green, William. I did a Tucson, and I did my arcade scales all the way to green. Man, I hate these knife cases. Good grief. These ones with the little bitty... This knife just does not want to fit. Purple and gold, huh? That sounds pretty cool. Let me try to get this knife put back up somewhere. I don't know why it's not fitting. I just took it out of here. Oh, there we go. And then my favorite cold steels are the Voyagers. The Voyager XLs. They've got a bunch of different blade shapes. But that's probably my favorite from overall feel. And the way they lock in, and you can hold them. I don't know. The Voyagers are pretty nice. And I got all the blade shapes of it. And then the Formax Scout. You can't beat that knife. You go watch Joe X's video of it. It's one of the only ones that there was a part 2. No, it was actually green. Hold on. I'll show you in just a second. Whoops. I just totally did not put that. Dang it. Hold on. Let me look here in my pictures. Photos, search. Green knife. Alright. My phone is not smart enough to find that. If I just type green in, not going to find it then either. Yeah, knife cases are super important, Ray Sachs. Let me put up these 4 big beasts since they take up the whole table. This one I got right here though really stinks. It's not the best. Yeah, that Case Club one is nice. I'm going to show y'all one more time which one's not to buy and which one's to buy. Since this comes up a lot. There are some other colors that higher than that, but you have to get a specialized power supply to do them, William. We've looked at 140 volt one time, I believe. Let me get this knife put up. Don't get these cases. They're terrible. So they make these hard cases. Give me just a second. I'm putting this up. I apologize. All right. So they make these hard cases that have pockets in them that are really weird. Let me show you. Amazon orders. case. All right. So they have these ones. I'm going to show you the ones to get and the ones not to get. All right. Do not get these. Once again, this is a do not get. Do not get these kind of cases. Whoops. So these cases right here have some weird straps, and on the inside they get small, they get tiny, and they have these big pockets that are pretty much useless, and knives sling around in there. And like I said, they have these little, they have a place that has, you can't really see it all here, but these little inside ones are pretty much useless for any kind of bigger knife. So don't get those. But do get these. So these right here hold 64 and are much better. And they're the same price. So as you see with these, they have all the same size slots. Well, I take that back. Actually, that's not the one either. Don't get that one either. Don't listen to what I'm saying. Hold on. Don't get those either. I've tried them too. They have ones. Hold on. Well, maybe those are the ones I like. Yeah, the 66. All right, yeah, these are the ones that are good to get. The ones that say 66. 64. So all the straps are laid out nicely across from each other, and they don't get tiny. The ones in the middle are smaller, but they're... Oh, no, that's not the one either. That one's better, though. The one with the pockets. Don't get the one with the pockets. This one is better. I've got links. You can find them on Amazon. And then ones I really like that are easier to keep up with are these right here. And they're a great size for knives. And they're $18. And they hold 32 knives, 16 on each half. And for $18, you can't go wrong with this little case. There's the link to the $18 one. But y'all have seen me show these cases plenty of times. And they take up about half the space of those other ones. So, yeah, they're just these cases right here. They got double zippers. And they hold big knives. They have the nice felt in the middle. And they hold 16 on each side. So if you've got, and you can see some of these are smaller size knives, but it will hold big ones too. I usually try to alternate across, like if I put a big one right here, I'll try to put a smaller one here, vice versa. But these little $18 ones are great. And you can put the clip on here to hold them in. I just pull them in and out so much, I don't want to be undoing the clip every time. So I put them in like this. But you could put them in and lock the clips in. Like that. Which would probably be better. For long-term storage. There's that little lion steel. Carbon fiber one. Are you calling this carbon fiber? Huh? What's that Greg carbon fiber one there? Maybe you're saying gray? Oh, this one? This is a Viper. Petrified fish. Viper. Cool little knife. Super cool knife, and it's not a little knife. Cool big knife. Let me show you. So next to the amphibian, it's pretty big. Not for 18 bucks you don't, mister. But yeah, it's a pretty big knife. That's a Django XL. I couldn't figure out which one you were talking about for a second. There's that $12 button lock that's great. Yes, sir, petrified fish. Did I say that? I thought I said that. Maybe I didn't. And this one is the Bunta, which is another great petrified fish knife. This one's like 30 bucks, and you can't beat this for a beater everyday knife. It is super comfortable. But these cases are cool. You know, I prefer my big case club hard cases, but these make good ones to carry around. And like I said, they're about half as thin as those other ones and about the same size. But the ones you want, I want to explain why you don't want the ones I said. Yeah, let me show you. Well, can't really tell here. Huh. Never mind. I showed them all on screen. Oh, no problem. I think the carbon fiber one is a little more expensive, but the G10 ones, let's see. Petrified fish Viper. The G10 ones are cheaper. They're 52 bucks. And the white carbon fiber and the red carbon fiber are 87 bucks. K110 steel. I like the gray one though. The gray one for 53 bucks is a great knife. Good morning, by the way, Mr. Bill. Anybody else hop in while I wasn't paying attention? Guess not. You can get it on AliExpress too. Petrified Fish has an actual store on AliExpress. And they're the only ones with that knife. So right here, same prices, 53 and 87. It says upcoming price 73 on the 11/11 sale. Yeah, I saw where he skied down. I watched that video. I got suggested that video yesterday, mister. But Petrified Fish has a store. Yeah, so it's already on sale. there we go. On the Petrified Fish store, it's already 77 bucks, but it's going down to 73. So here's the link for the $77 one that's going to be 73. In case you want it, Bill. Yeah, Axis locks, you know, are what they are. Let's check it without any kind of prep. Actually, I already put it back, dang it. I was going to see if it locks up super tight without having to push the crossbar lock. You know, some of them have to give them a little help by pushing forward on the crossbar lock to get it to not wiggle at all. Let's check it out. So I'm not going to prep it, or so. One flick. Let's see if we get any wiggle. Absolutely zero. So I didn't touch the little. Sometimes you have to kind of seat the crossbar lock in some knives to get it to not give you a little bit of. I'm telling you, like bank vault. And it's super nice. Yeah, super solid. Super good lockup. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. Some crossbar lock knives, the first time you open them, before they get used and set, you have to kind of take your fingers to push this forward a little bit to get it to where it's locked up totally. Yeah, this one is super solid and super smooth. I don't like many crossbar locks. I like some of the Kaiser clutch locks. I like the Kunwus. They seem to lock up really good. But I would say it feels just as solid as the Kunwu. All right, something else I wanted to do today was to, since I'm sure, see you later, Bill. Well, I can't flip a butterfly knife for nothing. This 3D printed one, that about cut me. A little tight on this blade's a little thick behind the edge. But I wanted to do a blade swap on the new Proteans and see if that's possible, if they all use the same blades. So let's see here. We'll put a drop point blade in a Warncliffe. See if the blade swaps work. Thought we'd do that while y'all are telling me something else to look at as a public service for other people who might want to do some blade swaps. You can buy pretty much any version you want, but might be sold out. You might want to. Actually, you know what? I don't want to do that this morning because I don't have my T10 bit nor my bit set where I can grab it. I'm a little discombobulated with all this stuff that I've moved around. Unless somebody else wants to see it. But like I said, you can buy pretty much either version with either blade. So this is not a version where you really need to do a blade swap, but I was curious if they all use the same frames. I would think they would, just for a cost. This one does not have the best of action though. This one does. And I tried to remove a little pressure from the lock bar to make it close better. And then the detent went away. That stinks. Yeah, I could find my little kit. I need to dig out my kit because I need a bit set in here. I don't have a T10 handy for the pivots on these. All right, scratch that idea. Y'all give me something else to look at. What are y'all getting in this week? I get my rain. My rain was supposed to be delivered yesterday. It looks like I won't get it till tomorrow. That kind of stinks. My favorite locking system. Probably a frame lock. William? Because I'm boring like that. But some of these nested liner locks like this one make the knife look a lot better. So I'm kind of going, I'm kind of getting towards nested liner locks as being my favorite, just because of the way that it looks. I don't like the big notch cut out if they don't have to be. But I just don't feel as confident with a liner not bending on me compared to a frame. But if I'm ever tweaking a knife that far where I'm about to bend my lock bar, I'm pressing it the wrong direction, pretty much. What weed should you get? I don't know. But the Elementum, I've got an Elementum I'll sell you for super cheap. But nested liner lock's probably my second behind frame lock. Let's go to the Wii website. I want a 2v2. Yeah, let's go look at the Wii. Let's sort by price on the Wii website and see what they got. I don't even know what their most budget knife is. Let's just search titanium and sort by 48 per page. They don't have any way that you can sort by price. They don't have any way to sort, period, do they, huh? Man, I hate that. I hate when they don't have any way to filter results. So let's go to Blade HQ. Let's go to Wii Folding Knife. And let's 50 to 100. They're gonna have all the Civivis. Sin cuts, yeah, 100 to 250. I got 90 in that category. Sort by price, low to high. All right. So you got the banner for 119. Banter. They also then you got the Warncliffe for $5 more. Well, that purple and that little Banter, pretty cool little knife. Yeah, I've got a Thug and a Thug XL. I love them both. What do you want for your Synergy? Hit me up on the Discord after this. Is it a plain? Well, I'm going to tell you which Synergy I want. So you probably don't have the one I want. So I want this one. You don't have this one, do you? New locking system knife Neve showed. Well, let's go try to figure that out for you, William. Let's go look. Neves. See what his latest let's see. I don't see new locking system. You don't remember anything else about it, William? Oh yeah. So it's is it the dark tiger stripe? It's that one, huh? I could always bead blast it. Or send it to my buddy to get Zer blasted. Depends on what you want for it. Oh yeah, it probably is the probably is that numb. The N1 the cornerstone. 350. It's probably this knife right here. William. Yeah, I'm betting that's it. I should have thought of that because that's one of the newer knives with let's see if he did a video on it. Cornerstone.
That's some
Yeah, here we go.
stuff. Oh, it just disengaged on me. Uh-oh. I love that in the knife community, we continue to just push the limits as far as it can go. When you think there's nothing left that can be done, we figure out how to do much, much more. Bang! Neves Knives, I'm Jared, and today we're
not gonna watch this whole video.
That gets me excited. This is the kind of stuff that I love to see. So not only do we have a new patent pending locking system, we also have a double detent system. And I think that's really cool because I'm actually working on a knife right now also with a double detent system. So we're gonna break down this lock, we're gonna break down the knife, we're gonna talk about the goods, the bads, and you know, just all the stuff I could come up with in the short period of time I've had it. But the knife designer is Nick's Unhinged Mechanical Brain, and this is his company, Knife Works, and the model is the Cornerstone. So let's get into it. Now you guys know I'm not gonna make you wait to see, let me move this damn thing. You guys know I'm not gonna make you wait to see what the inside of this looks like. We have an S90V blade with a hollow ground sheep's foot blade that has somewhat of like a harpoon action with this very nice jimping right up there. Titanium handle, titanium clip, and titanium backspacer.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Pivot and TA hardware all the way around. So there is, you know, the gist of the materials. All
right, let's get inside.
Okay.
All right.
And you squeeze it and it drops, okay? Well, that piece right there also has a detent connected to it on both sides. So let me show you what this looks like taken apart when I was figuring it out myself.
There we go. Oh, there we go. That's pretty cool. So the detent balls are in that little piece.
There she is. Now, good luck putting this thing back together. Ha! Wow, that thing is pretty damn cool. And look, there's like a bar.
So it pivots.
That's cool. So like you can see there's like this little bar right here.
There's a little pin that holds it in place.
I'm going to put this back before I mess something up because I want to make sure it's operating good. So instead of like a liner lock using only one side of the blade's tang, this uses both sides. While this knife is together, I want to show you, look at the lock face. It's angled because that is where both the tabs drop in.
Oh, it makes a little V.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool too.
And you know, is being tapered like that, you worry that they could slip, but I don't think it's gonna. I have to imagine this is a strong lock. I'll say this, it is bank vault solid. Absolute no, I can't even flex anything. Now, I haven't tested the lock strength to a severe level. Maybe we'll do that in another video. Maybe we'll do it later in this video. I'm not sure because I haven't 100% done everything I'm gonna do with this knife yet, but stay tuned. You know,
let's see what happens here.
With this instead of lower, I'm not sure why they did it lower because they had all the room in the world. Maybe not. Maybe it's because, yeah, because the buttons don't really hit that. So I'm not sure because I don't think the buttons would have bothered that at all. Anyways, it does have an internal stop pin. You guys already seen the insides of it. So now, the cutting, it does cut well. It cuts really well. It is ergonomic. I can get a 4-finger grip back here and choke up. My favorite is the pinch grip with this knife. You know, when I'm opening things up, opening boxes, stuff like that. Like I said, it does pass through materials well. It came with an okay edge, not the sharpest edge in the world, but it's okay. It's a good factory edge.
Fail here in a minute.
Good, decent factory edge.
Or the lock disengages.
The lock when cutting. You know what? I'll wait for that. The clip is, you know, it's functional. It does work. It's a little bit.
All right, so here's where he gets caught.
Disengaged on me.
All right.
That's some thick stuff. Ooh, it just disengaged on me. Ooh, it disengaged on me. Whoopsie. All right. Oh, fuck it. Now that I know that, though, I need to be careful.
So according to where you're squeezing it, I guess.
Really cramming it through some stuff, though. So in a choke up. So when I choke up, and I'm going to show you exactly why this happens. Now, I have large hands. It might be this shape with my hand, but when I wrap around and I choke up just like this, my middle finger happens to land right there, and then my bone, like right there, happens to land on that. And if I pinch it, it will absolutely disengage. So it's something that happened to me really quickly. Like
morning, Ed.
I caught it because my finger, you know, kind of catches it. So it didn't hurt me or anything. It was fine, but it is very, like it happens every time I squeeze it right there. To be fair, typically I'm like this. Typically I don't really choke up like that, but I guess I can't really say that because it happened to me when I was doing it. So maybe I do it more than I think, but typically I'm like this, you know what I mean? And typically you're not gonna hit this side. I might hit this side, but not this side. Now, why doesn't it happen with a button lock? So like this is an auto, obviously, but same concept. When I'm choked up with this one all the way like this, look at where the button lands. The button lands in front of my pointer finger, which can almost never reach the button unless if I reach all the way over like that, and that's not how I do it. I choke like this. So if I just naturally grip this knife all the way up, my fingers don't hit the button.
That's a real good example. I'm glad he got the camera angles good for that.
Also, there's nothing on this side for me to hit. So with this one, it just so happens my middle finger's right there. Now, of course, I can avoid it. I know that about the knife, so I just won't do that.
Yeah, right? You can adjust how you hold it.
You know, somebody used to say, just don't do that. Just don't do that and you'll be all right. And I won't do that. So it's not that big of a deal, to be honest. It doesn't make me dislike the knife.
Let's see what happens here.
Uh-oh. Screw popped out. Oh, no. Okay.
Did it break?
All right, guys. I got to take responsibility for the screw popping out.
You didn't tighten it up.
When I put the knife back together, the liners have 2 screws apiece, you know, basically what holds the locking mechanism inside the handle. And one of the screws, I heard a little pop, but I thought my bit just slipped out. And I reviewed the footage, and I realized that I popped it. So I stripped the screw out. So the only reason why that screw popped out was because of my fault. I put too much tension on the screw when screwing it back in. Normally, I'm really good at that. Normally, I'm good at not doing that, you know. I take apart enough now.
Maybe the screw should have been a little longer.
Mistakes, but I just want to make sure that it's not put on the fibers going very early. It's just super fast. So you know the end of it is at. Where did it end, right? It's a mystery where it ended. And with this, you know, you can kind of tell it ends right there just because of the way the light hits it. But you know, that's not.
Anyway, that was cool. I'm glad he showed all those angles. Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up, William. Let's go back over here, check out the inexpensive Wii's. We got those. Then you get into the Banter 2 crossbar lock. Then you start getting close to the $200 mark. There's the Elementum I have that I would sell for super cheap. I mean, I would sell it for like $100, half price. Yeah, Scott. I mean, like he said, you can adjust your hand after you know a knife. And that could happen with any knife. But you can have that Wii Elementum for $100, William, half price. Well, it keeps going back. Blade HQ's resets itself. Yeah, but then you get into the $200 range. And at the $200 price point, you can find lots of them. And if you don't mind secondhand, there's the Thug. Yeah, if you don't mind secondhand, you could get a $300 one for like $150, $160. Speedster, I like the looks of that one. What's the overall length? 7.8. Yeah, a lot of people start with Civivis and want to eventually get a Wii. That's kind of what happened with me. I started out with inexpensive knives and still buy them to this day. So I don't think I'll buy any more Civivis or Sin Cuts. I've got a few. Good morning, JD. Ed, you gotta say more than just Edyards when you come in. I think for the last few weeks, that's all you've been saying when you popped in. Are you falling asleep and passing out on us? Is that what's going on? I don't blame you for that, but ugh. I've got a few weeds that I'm selling. Well, and the weeds that I ended up keeping are my riffraff. Yes, you do. My Esprit, my sword fin, my Trogon, the Shut-in, the Thug XL, and the Thug. I think those are the only ones. Those are the ones I'm keeping. Then I got my wear knives, Lucas P, in the same line as those. But those are the only weeds I'm keeping so far. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. And then I've got a few weeds. Let me see which ones I got for sale. Do not remember. I'm not sure if I sold my Makani. Oh yeah, I've got a. There's Nick. The what? Minix? I don't know what that is. What is that, Nick? Yeah, I'm not familiar with that knife. What is the Minix? Minix. Never even heard of that. Oh, now I see why. I don't know what it is. It's a recurve, and it's got funky patterning. Do they have a plain one? No, it's all got that weird middle part, huh? Yeah, that's why I don't know what it is, because I looked right past it. Because it had all that crazy stuff in the middle of the handle. Let's see. I have got. Where's my other case for sale stuff? Do not see it. Aha, here it is. I think there's a couple of weeds in here, maybe. Maybe I sold them all. Nope. So I've got this one, which is the what's the name of this one? You know. Oh yeah, I've got a few Wii's. I forgot. I've got my Wii Excite on. And I guess that's all the Wii's I've got left to sell. I did sell my Makani. This is the Pete bought one of these. Why can't I think of the name of it? And this one almost looks like an integral because of the back of it. That's why I bought it. This was my first quote unquote integral purchase, but it really wasn't an integral. This is it's got the clamshell back on it. So that covers the back, makes it look like an integral. Sakshi, Saakshi, Sakshi. This is the WE Knives carbon fiber Sakshi. Got titanium liners, so you can anodize and color the liners any color you want, and the clip to match. I think Pete did his green. Maybe he bought one green. This one feels really good though. You can have that for a good price too. Morning, Tommy. Hope you're doing well, sir. Just a quick flash. All those are for sale if anybody wants one. You take a screenshot, ask me about it. And all of these are for sale too. Take a screenshot. It'll last longer. Yep. And this little case is not bad, but it's super cheap. From AliExpress. You just have to be careful with it and keep it flat so that they don't slide around. All right, guys. What else is going on? I just don't like black knives, Nick. That tipper is solid black, handle and blade. This one I think is sold if the guy will answer me. I'm selling that one. Where is my... Well, that don't make no sense. Oh, it's on the table. An old butterfly knife. What else y'all want to talk about today? Like I said, might have a topic to discuss tomorrow. If I don't get a response today from the person I messaged, I will be able to tell y'all something tomorrow that kind of shady. Which it doesn't actually surprise me, but I'm being ostracized, I guess, for my views on knives. And I'm not allowed to play any other reindeer games. I'm being kept out of something that should be open to everyone, in my view. And I don't know how long it has been changed, but it got changed at some point. I was included and got to play reindeer games, but then I'm not now. So I messaged the person that this has to do with, and hopefully he'll respond to me and it was just an error. But if not, I will discuss it tomorrow. Either way, I will discuss it tomorrow, whether it was an error or not. Because like I said, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, like I do with anyone. And, you know, this knife community is got quite a few little cliques of people that seem to click up, and I never liked that in 8th grade, and I still don't like it now. But there's not much you can do about it. It is what it is. I will continue to do my thing with or without others. Can't wait to make that knife. Oh, I did go through and work on the limbic and get it sanded to where everything matches up now. Last night at work. So I worked on the handle and got it matched up everywhere to where there's now the perfectly transition everywhere. I've still got to sand and polish up the flats, but now it doesn't stick out at all where it was. It was all because of this screw back here. And now everything's flush, and I kind of fixed everything. So yeah, I did that. I've still got to like put a better mirror polish on the blade, although I have started to get it better, as you can see there. But it is officially a knife now. It can be used. I just can't carry it until I make a sheath. Mister, yeah, it's not YouTube. It's one of the other social medias. It has to do with a certain list. But like I said, I won't get into it until tomorrow. I'm going to give him a day to respond. It's a list I used to be on, but at some point I have been removed from, and I didn't even realize it till last night. Which I don't really care. It's just the point of it. And it's just, I'd like to hear the reasoning. But yeah. And don't say it if you figure it out, because I don't want to talk about it today. But I should have just given you enough for you to figure it out. But yeah, don't be starting nothing. Won't be nothing. Bob, welcome, sir. Bob's Pocket Knives. What are y'all talking about? QSPs? Yeah, I'd like to at least know, Tommy. Because there can't be a good reason to it regardless. But I'd like to hear it out. Alright. What else news coming out? Let's see. Let's go back to Knife Center and see if they have, see if the same old stuff. Looks like we got a few new ones here. New Norseman. Couple of new shark cubs. Well, looky there. Synchronicity. An amphibian. Stitch. Audacious. Four. Zero tolerance. Is this a new ZT? Slip joint? Huh. Jen Zanzo. I'm not being cryptic about it, Ed. I said I was giving him a day, just like I would with anyone, to respond. A lot of people aren't up in the middle of the night when I am, so when I message people, I have to give them a chance to wake up. I'm not being cryptic at all. I'm just not trying to talk trash. I don't gossip and talk trash, so I will totally address it when the time is correct, but he deserves to have at least a day to respond. Yeah, I like that too. I like that blade shape. I like both of them, and I'm a fan. Most of the time I'm a fan of a drop point, spear point, but in this particular knife, I like that one better for some reason. Wonder if it stops at 50% like most of them, or if it's kind of like the little real steel that Pete gave me, and it stops at like 60%. I thought that knife was still laying around over here somewhere. I thought I decided I was going to keep it as a desk knife, but I do not see it. Yeah, here it is. So I wonder if it's like this one, because it reminds me a lot of this knife. Yeah, and it's actually not the cool kids, if you ask me, but it's the jocks aren't letting me sit at the jock table. Yeah, this is the 3/4 stop. But this little slip joint that Pete gave me reminds me of that knife a lot. And this is a great little slip joint. It's a real steel, and I don't remember the model name of this one. But Pete gave me this for my birthday. Thank you, Mr. Pete. But it's got the 3/4 stop. And I really think that's more like a 60% stop, but I guess you could call it a 3/4 stop. I feel like 3/4 would be more like right there at a 45-degree angle. But that's just me. Yeah, that's a cool little knife. But it looks a lot like that one. Now I'm curious what that little real steel is called. D2. Real steel slip joints. There it is. It's called the Solus Light. Great little price on that knife, especially at Atlantic Knife. I bet they're more than that. Let's see. Real steel Solus Light. Let's see what they sell for on their website. Yeah, they're a little more on their website, which is they're sold out. Blade HQ, you'll see what they charge. Okay. You always got to pay shipping. That's a great price for that little knife. Dominic, what's going on, buddy? Good morning, Christopher, by the way. Yeah, Dominic, hope you're having a good Sunday this morning. Cool name, by the way. JD, I'm guessing, yeah, that is considered a Warncliffe. But y'all know me and my blade shapes. It's so, you know, top to bottom, when you get into like little Wharncliffes where they're not that thick, I want to call them something else. I always think of a Wharncliffe as having kind of a thick from top to bottom blade. Let's see what else they got new. That watermelon boxer. Oh, that's pretty cool. The little lock pin that holds the blade in. Yeah, that's an interesting knife. Well, I'm glad Dominic's liking it, Christopher. Yeah, Tommy, I agree. We talked about it one time, and one of them has a straight, one of them has a curve and goes all the way to the back. I don't know. I always end up looking up that NAF's chart whenever that NAF's blade shape chart. Always look this up whenever I get confused, but Wharncliffe are supposed to curve gently all the way from the top of the blade to the bottom to the point. And the sheep's foot seemed to be a little more blunt at the front. And more vertical and straight up and down. They're saying a sheep foot curves underneath the front of the edge too in this picture. But I don't think that's necessarily the case. And I could have just said that backwards. Sheep's foot might need to be rounded all the way. And Wharncliffe is more of a 45. And a straight edge, kind of straight. And the sheep foot curves gently. But they have the tip of the blade curving up at the end for the sheep's foot also, which doesn't happen on most sheep's foot, or what they call sheep's foot. And you know, a lot of Wharncliffes I would call a reverse Tonto, but there is no real blade shape as a reverse Tonto. I mean, you can look it up. They come up, but I don't think. Yeah, the reverse Tonto, what is it? But that's almost like a Wharncliffe. And it's all just semantics. But this one right here, that picture, yeah, I like, just add a modified on and you should be good when you're describing most blade shapes. Alright, I got anything else? Let's see. Oh, there's a custom Jared Osher, sorry. Riot D9 V2. Wish it wasn't in carbon fiber, but oh, it's bead blasted titanium on the other side. Didn't even pay attention. Got that Riot look to it. Morning, Cliff. Yeah, I like that side of it. Wish it looked like that on the other side. Bestex Sledgehammer. Jack Jr. The Jack is, ooh. That Mantis is pretty sexy. Inset liner lock with L-Max. See if we can see. Yeah, I like that. The button looks, I mean, the lock bar release looks comfortable too. I like that Manus. Bestex Sledgehammer. Yeah, that is definitely a Tonto. What they have it in other. Yeah, let's go to their website. Other versions. We got 6 of them. Looks like all of them are micarta and G10. Great little price on that one too, though. You like Brokeback Mountain? Know what you're saying, mister? Yeah, I like that Manus. The Jack Jr. That Manus with that milling, cool too. Oh, heck. Yeah, what do y'all think about Terravantium blades? Dendritic Cobalt. What do y'all know about that? What do y'all think about that Terrain 365 knife? Oh, that's cool, Christopher. Mister can get a tank razor definitely sharp. Whenever I sharpen my Tontos, I just treat them like 2 different edges. And I don't usually have a problem. It's all about getting it Terravantium. It is not steel. And I don't think it will set off a metal detector, but I could be wrong. Don't hold me to that. And it is steel, probably. All that was probably just a lie. But Terravantium, it's a super alloy. 100% rust-proof, non-magnetic. That's what I meant when I said it wasn't steel. I meant that it was non-magnetic. Requires no heat treating and will hold an edge longer than virtually any blade steel and stainless steel alloys. That's adamantium, I believe. Wolverine. Isn't it adamantium? Yeah, I just treat Tontos like they're 2 different edges. You just sharpen one and then sharpen the other, and then where they connect is where you need to either figure out whether you want to round it off or try to keep it good and square. But most of the time, I just maintain consistent straight strokes. It's a cobalt alloy. Non-ferrous, non-magnetic alloy. So is it steel? No, still don't know. But it's non-magnetic and non-ferrous. All right. we can make this easy, is steel. No, it is not steel. Which I kind of thought that, but I didn't want to sound stupid and say it. No, I printed the carbon fiber and the wood and flexible stuff, but I have not printed. I didn't even know they made tungsten filament. They got aluminum, stainless steel. You can print in stainless steel. That's pretty cool. Filabot 17. Oh, that's the kind you got to put in the hoppers. So, 3D printing metal. There's a place that has a bunch of stuff listed that they print in. Yeah, metal filaments. Here we go. Aluminum, bronze, copper, high carbon iron. The Inconel. Yeah, Inconel, tool steel, M300 tool steel. Tungsten. Rapid 3D shield tungsten 3D printing filament. Stainless steel. Titanium filament. Filament. That's pretty wild. Wonder how hot you have to run your extruder at. Pretty wild. Custom materials, $5,000. Yes, you can, Tommy. Mister's got a video. Let's see what he's got here.
This is the densest and most expensive filament that I've ever 3D printed with. It's 75% tungsten by weight, and as a result, this 100-gram sample is only about 10 meters long. This stuff is super rigid, and when in a coil, it feels more like wire than plastic filament. Prusa Research originally developed this unique polymer for use in printing on-the-fly radiation shielding in hospitals because while tungsten may be excellent at attenuating alpha, beta, and gamma radiation, it's extremely costly and time-consuming to have components custom machined out of it. Tungsten is relatively chemically inert and hypoallergenic, so it's perfect for use in a medical environment, and unlike other filament additives like carbon fiber, you don't have to worry about irritating fibers getting all over your workspace, although you're still going to need an abrasive-resistant nozzle. I'll be putting this Revo Obsidian nozzle through its paces.
Yeah, I have a ruby nozzle
decorative spiral that
would print it.
jig for testing the gamma shielding efficacy of various thicknesses of the tungsten PETG. This part works surprisingly well for demonstrating how different energy gammas get attenuated differently in tungsten, and an irregular shape like this would be very difficult to machine out of pure tungsten. This filament prints great despite being mostly metal and produces parts with this attractive matte finish, but if the printed look isn't your cup of tea, this filament also polishes up beautifully and ends up looking and feeling like actual metal.
It sands up really good. No, I haven't checked that out. Whoa, 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 buddy. Stop being so loud. Yeah, I haven't checked it out. Once I get my printer set back up, I will have to get some, and we will have to print something in some of these metals. All right. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure you can walk through a metal detector with this blade. And I think they use it in the rest of the parts of the knife. So I think this whole knife, this Invictus, I think you can go through a metal detector, but I'm not positive. Don't quote me on that. That's wild looking knives. Both of those. Man, I like the Fragger-Rack. I like this Fragger-Rack, but I like the blade ramp. I'm a sucker for a blade ramp. But I don't like this one. That's a modified sheep's foot. Pete. Good morning, sir. I was just talking about you a little while ago. Your birthday gift, which I appreciate. All right, we're back to where we were before. So these were the last ones we saw. The new MSIs. Last time we looked. We're all caught up now on the Knife Center page, at least. Yeah, Jens Anzo released a new one that looks a lot like that little knife you gave me, Pete. We were just looking at it here. Let me show you again, since you just hopped in, but look how much this little Jens Anzo looks like that knife. Little slip joint. A Nessmuck usually has a hump on the back, though. And when they add the word modified, they can make it whatever. So that's what I said, if you just add modified. But that does look like a sheep's foot, because the Nessmuck, it goes up round the other way. It doesn't curve down. It curves up. I've actually got mine right here, I think. Well, I did have it. I don't know what I did with it. Yeah, I thought Nessmuck's curved up instead of down. Oh, it does kind of curve down like that. That's more, that's what I have as a Joker Nessmuck. Yeah, the front of it looks a little different. Well, that didn't open right. All right, we'll keep that one open. We'll go back here. Open this. Yeah, it's more squared off and rounded. I don't know. That's why they said modified. Morning, ground fog. Yeah, if you add modified, you can call it. You could call it a modified Nessmuck too. Modified sheep's foot or a modified Nessmuck. Modified just means funky. Funky blade shape. Yeah, it's kind of dreary here today too. Been kind of rainy and snow. What is that? I don't know what snow is. We only get snow like 1 or 2 times maybe a year. And we get about a ½ inch when we do get it. Y'all hadn't smashed that like button, please do so. Man, I was really hoping I was going to get my rain yesterday. Speaking of weather, but no, UPS didn't want to deliver it yesterday, even though it was in town. And I cannot type today. Yep, I was hoping I would get my rain. I want to see if hopefully I can reverse flick it pretty regularly. The edge of that is supposed to be real shallow, so your finger slips off of it sometimes. Cliff, somebody in the Discord said their package was on a plane that went down. I don't know about that either. I've got 2 watches that are still stuck in customs. They've been there like almost 4 days now. I don't like that because I might have to deal with the guy I bought them from if they get confiscated, seized. Rainy? I don't think it's pronounced rainy. Let's see what the interweb says, mister. How to pronounce rain? What do y'all think? Is it rainy?
Green.
Rain.
Green.
Well, it says rain there. R-E-Y-N-E. Why is it saying R-A-Y? How to pronounce rain? How to pronounce rain? Rain, rain, rain. Caleb Rain. Ryan? Raven? Keanu Reeves. Well, the only one we got was this one, howtopronounce.com.
Green.
Uh-oh. 23 of them.
Green.
Rain.
Rain.
Green.
Rain.
Rain.
Rain. Rain.
Well, that's weird. Oh, is that you, Tommy? Yeah. I didn't want to say, you know, I don't try to give out personal stuff, but yes, it was Tommy. I guess he's still waiting till the investigation is done to see whether or not it really did get lost. Rain. Rain. Well, all right, guys. Unless y'all got something else you want to talk about, we'll start ending this one out. Appreciate y'all being here. I will let y'all know tomorrow whether I hear back from so-called fella today about so-called situation. And hopefully it will not be a situation. but I kind of foresee it being a situation. John got his Protean yesterday, which is like the fastest shipping ever from China to Hawaii. I told him, he said it was scheduled to be middle of December, and I was like, no, you'll get it before then. I was going to send him one of mine to check out while he was waiting on his, but he got his yesterday, so that's always cool. It came out of New York, which is mine. A lot of mine, all mine come out of Chicago when they come from China. Kind of weird that a Hawaii knife came out of New York, but I'm glad he got it at least. What, I didn't even hear about the plane crash or whatever. What? What are we talking, like, what happened? I didn't even hear, I didn't pay plane crashes. UPS plane crash in Kentucky. Whoa.
The cockpit of that UPS car.
Let's try this again.
Amid a search for answers, investigators revealing the final moments inside the cockpit of that UPS cargo plane just before the crash.
Holy cow!
Recordings from the plane's black boxes showing everything seemed normal at first. But investigators say things soon took a turn, bells sounding inside the cockpit.
37 seconds after the crew called for takeoff thrust, a repeating bell was heard until the end of the recording 25 seconds later. The crew engaged in efforts to attempt to control the aircraft before the crash.
One of the mysteries that the NTSB will have to solve is why was the crew unable to control the flight to get it to continue in flight? And that is probably something that was related to the explosion of the engine on the left wing.
The plane making it just 100 feet into the air, data shows. This dashcam video showing the moment it crashed.
Holy cow, can you imagine that guy in that gray truck?
Explosion erupting. Now, this new drone video showing the massive damage left behind.
Wow.
A scorched trail, investigators say, is still active, spot fires cropping up. And officials say the death toll rising again to 14, including all 3 pilots aboard and 11 people on the ground. Among them, Lou Fedin and his 3-year-old granddaughter, Kimberly. They were at a scrapyard nearby to collect metal. The death toll still expected to rise more, multiple people still unaccounted for. ABC's Matt Rivers spoke with Sean Garber, who said at least 3 missing workers
I don't watch TV.
inside his scrap metal recycling facility.
In the voices of those family members that you spoke to, what did
I don't have much time for TV.
Sadness, confusion, anger.
I mean, I heard about it, but I didn't really know the extent of it.
Questions, UPS now overnight temporarily grounding its entire fleet of MD-11s. That's the type of plane involved here, which makes up nearly 10% of the company's fleet. They say this comes, quote, at an abundance of caution and in the interest of safety. Rhiannon.
So many questions.
She had lots of trouble getting that sentence out. 10% of their fleet. Okay. So at least it's not all the planes they use. Well, there you go. Some update on the news at the end of the broadcast. Yeah, I couldn't imagine, man. That guy coming running out of that tire shop. He was getting it, boy. That guy in that gray truck. Man. Bet he had to change his drawers. Man. Yeah, it is sad. Michael, thanks for hopping in at the end here, buddy. Give me a thumbs up on your way out. Help the algorithm. Anyway, guys, hope y'all have a good Sunday. Good start to your week. And draws. Yeah, draws. Drawers. Drawers. That's one of those like road. Drawers. Draws. Draws. Gotta change your draws. That's how we say it down here. But yeah, so I think tomorrow we're going to start looking up what I need to buy because I only got a couple of days to buy some like snaps and stuff for leather. We got to figure out how to make a sheath on Thursday. So if I don't get it ordered by tomorrow, probably won't be here within 2 days from Amazon. So, soil your draws. So we're going to check out, maybe go watch a couple videos on how to make a sheath. I really like the sheaths that kind of rotate a little bit as they hang, so that they don't, so that as you move and bend down and bend over and stuff, they don't get caught up against the side of you. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but they have little leather belt loops that are hooked on by a little swivel snap kind of deal. Not really a snap, but a swivel. Whatever. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But I might want to try to do that because that's the most comfortable. And if it's going to be my knife, kind of want one like that. I think my Joker that I was just talking about has that kind of sheath. Maybe we'll look at a few sheaths tomorrow that I've got. Come up with an idea. See what parts I need to order. I've got the leather sewing kit. But I have a feeling getting through thick leather is there's gonna be some kind of punch or something that I need. Or a little they make little you hammer holes in leather. With those little, they make multi-row, like you can get 3 or 4. They're like little pitchforks that you hammer down through the leather to make holes so that your thick thread will go through easily. So I might need to buy one of those. But they make little things, yeah. Whole specialty line of leatherworking stuff. Yeah, a bunch of little pins in a row that you line up with you put one pin in to line up with the next ones and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, guys, appreciate y'all being here. Hope y'all have a great Sunday. Get at me if you need me.